What up? What up? What up? What up?
Yo, what's going on, killer?
Hey, nothing much, man. Hey, we are back for another week. We're so glad that you guys are back here again with us. As y'all know, we are on a run to kind of shift where we're going before championship series come up. Because we already know that's a series we have every year. But we have like this inner period where we want to I don't want to necessarily say introduce because you may know the guests that we bring on, but they may be new to us. So we want to give them a spotlight, kind of shine light on what they got going on, and also, hopefully propel them forward to championship series, as I would say. So we always say we pay the bills first. So hey, make sure y'all go check out Chula Wear. Grab your shorts today, not tomorrow, not next week. Go ahead and put those orders in today. Use the code eShell10 or Carolina Muscle, and make sure you get your trunks, robes, whatever you may need for your next competition. So what you got for us? Or you want me to go straight into the intro?
Critic over here, brother. Good.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to move straight into the interview. I don't know why that's blurry, but we'll figure it out. So we're going to move into the interview with our guests. So I'm going to read these accolades because we got to hear more about this, especially when he come on. But he's a pro in 1, 2, 3, 4 different organizations. 27-time pro show wins. 27. Count it up. 4-time best poser. So we got a guy that can pose that's coming to the stage. 15-time top 3 pro shows and 15-time top 5 pro shows. So he competes a lot, and maybe he's going to give us a little bit more into that hefty accolade counter right there. But let's go ahead and bring him to the stage. Tyson, what's going on, man?
What's up, fellas? What's up?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Good. Blessed. Can't complain.
I'm about to say he got the sweat going. He said he coming on glistening. We should do some baby oil. We should do something.
I did legs today, so that took a lot out of me. I was like, man, I just did legs. I was like, man, hopefully I'm gonna carve up a little.
But what we want you to do is, I know I read strictly from your bio, but I want you to give us a true introduction of who Tyson is behind the bio. And then, of course, we can ask you any questions from there. But tell us who Tyson is. Just give us an introduction of you.
When people don't know me, a lot of people know me as True Believer Fitness. And I told them it was basically, I got the name from my background being in church, mom and dad being pastors of a church. Before that was my grandma. And then I'm the head musician at my church. So that's why the name kind of expired years ago. Because I almost tried to do it as my name. That's why I tell people that's where the initials came from. It was TB Fitness, and it was supposed to be my name, Tyson Braziel Fitness. And then it was like, no, you got to make it more, other than about yourself. You got to do something bigger than that. And I'm over here thinking a whole bunch of things like Tough Body Fitness, because I already came out with T-shirts and paid for a bunch of T-shirts that say TBF. I'm like, man, I'm about to spend a whole lot of money on all different shirts. So I'm trying to think what's going on. I'm like, and then we thought about like, okay, being a true Christian. I'm like, what about being a true believer in fitness? Because you have a lot of people on the spiritual side that people are like, oh man, you're a hypocrite, man. You do this, but you must be a Christian. I said, it's the same thing in the fitness industry. Some people say, man, I work out all the time. I stay healthy. And I'm looking at it like, I ain't seen you under 20% body fat. And you say you always eat healthy and you work out. Like, and you almost like a hypocrite doing in the fitness industry. So I was like, started to come up with that concept of being a true believer. So it's basically your lifestyle shows. Like you have to tell people, because people can tell by your discipline, by your body, how much discipline you put into your sport or to your career, to your passion. It shows. Halftime, you never really have to ask somebody, man, do you really eat healthy all day? They'll see it through the changes. If they see you for at least 6 months, they can tell the difference. If you're going through a bulk season, you're going through a cut season. It's like people I've seen at the gym day in and day out. It's like the people you see every time over the course of 2 or 3 years. I'm like, man, you still look the same. Like, I don't know. Something ain't adding up. So I tell people, like, every time when people see me at the gym, you can tell if it's going to be bulking season or if it's cutting season. And now, I would say in the last 3 years, they can't really tell that much of a huge difference because now I stopped that whole dirty bulking what we used to do back in the day. Just eat everything and anything. Especially when you get into the pro level, you have to start knowing that you have to kind of stay in those guidelines so you don't have to work so hard just to get ready for the season. And it helps you build that muscle density when you keep it clean eating throughout the whole year. Uh, so I've learned from good and bad mistakes. I think I started more consistent eating clean at the end of 2022 after I dirty bulk. I did like one huge bodybuilding show. It was the Atlas. It was like a GBO Atlas show, and that's when I first met Showtime. So I had to go to Showtime, Eric Murph, and all of them. And I didn't like the placing I got. So I got like 6th place, and I binge eat like crazy for 2 weeks. I was at like 20, 25 pounds. I'm over here like, and they saw me like 2 weeks ago because they had to do another show, and I went to go watch them. They're like, bro, did you eat everything at Thanksgiving? Like, I'm like, man, I was just going through it. So I was like, nah, I can't do that no more. Especially if I've been like about 240, 250 before, just lifting weights. But until I got into bodybuilding, I got a little more discipline because I've never really been big until I got into weightlifting until 2014 when I actually started lifting seriously because I came from a track and field background. So track and field, I did the 400, 800. I ain't putting on no weight. I'm saying 150 to 60 pounds. So I'm like medium distance. So I tell people I ain't started lifting weight seriously until after college.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and ask my first question because I'm just curious to know. Are you still big into the church?
So
Okay. So the reason why I'm gonna ask this question is because earlier this year I had someone come to me and told me that they wanted to bodybuild, but they said that they're very heavy in the church and they didn't know how the church was going to view them if they did step on stage. So can you just give me, I guess, a little bit of background because I don't want to sound ignorant here. So how does that correlate with bodybuilding? Like, how does your religion stepping on stage correlate with how someone else views you that's not in this space?
right. So I would say the good thing I have a good relationship with everybody in my church, like the older ladies, younger people. And I think it's just me steady communicating with them at the church because every time I do a show, they come in like, hey, I saw you did the show, you posted, you look great, y'all did good. Because I've explained to them about the sport, what they're looking for. Because they'll say, man, what are they looking for? You know, y'all just always have shirts off. And I have to present it as a way of a sport and not as a way that they look like sexualizing the sports. So when you really communicate these or um, connect with them and really just educate them on well, they're looking for muscle, they're looking for condition, they're looking for symmetry. And they're like, what do you mean symmetry? I was like, you know how every girl wants to have a V taper. So when you telling ladies who are in their 50s, 60s, and they'll start to understand, like, okay, I see what you're talking about. That last show, that guy he was very what you call V taper. So they started to catch on to it years ago. And now they'll understand, like, sad thing is they'll understand if I lose, they're like, yeah, that guy had a small waist. I'm like, they never been to a bodybuilding show, but now they're catching on because they see, and then it's actually conducting myself, you know, in a holy way and still do the sport that they can see that, okay, it's still honoring God. It's not to the point that it's too vanity. Because that's where you have to, like, find that line where you're being competitive. It's just like any other sport. It's just, obviously, we're just showing a little more skin, but we're looking at it as an art of a body of art, and not just looking at it uh, like the world, some of the people in the world look at it, oh, y'all just vanity, y'all just, I'm like, no, not really. I'm like, because I don't post like that if it's in the off season.
Yeah.
Off season, I'm not even having my shirt off because I'm like, if I'm not as lean, I'm keeping my tank top on. So halftime, I'm just doing it when I'm doing my poses and stuff. I'm getting ready for a show, so they kind of know I have a season when I'm full in bodybuilding, and a season when I can go off of it. So I'm not so asphyxiated to just looking like this year round. They know I accept being a medium, lean, or just letting my body get away from that extreme. Because sometimes they'll get scared when they see my face looking like a demon, and they start thinking like, "Are you okay?" Like, Like you look like to the obvious people who don't know, it look like we're about to pass out, like we anorexic, like we're sick, about to die. I'm like, no. They're like, okay, so I understand, like you're about to get ready for a show. Like, yeah, that's why I have like the high cheekbones sucked in.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
would say it's me just educating and constantly just inviting them into my world and just telling them about it because they ask questions all the time. Especially if they ask something about fitness goals, health goals. So I'm always one that's always telling people at church, and then my mom and dad will be preaching, and they'll throw in little knickknacks in their speech like, "Hey, y'all gotta be disciplined in the word." Just like when Coach T be telling y'all to be disciplined about eating y'all food, but y'all want to do this. Like it's a structure. They say you gotta have a balance. She said I can't be over here preaching about this one, and I can't stop eating, and I'm over here being a big preacher. So she said it's a balance. She said it don't make any sense. She thought some little words like TDJ. She said that man be eating, he be preaching the right word, but he ain't gonna talk about gluttony. I'm like, oh man. So they be throwing them little hashtags at folks.
Gotcha. So the cool thing is we're 2 for 2, Jamal. 2 for 2 so far. We because I did some research. I tell y'all the research department here is A1. They're working overtime. So you're a musicianist as well. So
Mhm.
you play the keys.
Yeah, so I play
Yeah.
I play the keys and 6 other instruments. So I went to school for music education. So
Okay.
I'm playing like the trumpet, trombone, tuba, mellophone, drums, and then a little of the guitar.
Okay. So you play the brass instruments. You're a percussionist. You hear
Yeah.
these musical things, Jamal? Hey, that
I
background
hear
is
it.
crazy in music. I'll tell you. So you play a lot of instruments, and this was a question I actually asked Tim last show. How has music helped you in bodybuilding, or has it helped you in bodybuilding?
Oh man, a lot. It's just me being having a music background. I understand the process and the lingo of music. The crescendos, the decrescendos, where the music is soft, where the music is hard, how it affects the human mind. If you play something soft, usually the body like, oh, okay, that's play something harsh, the body gets a little tense. So I know if I do certain music to a certain song or certain sounds, I have to pose with that same tempo, pose with that same kind of elegancy. It's like if I'm doing rock and roll, I can't be doing a whole lot of swerving. Halftime, it's hard poses because I'm trying to mimic the same style and mood of that music. So knowing the style of music as a musician, it correlates over to posing. Because the more that it fits together, the more it draws the clients and more of the audience thinking like, okay, I feel that. But you get them into that creativity because halftime you play music, you're trying to get the audience into a certain mode. If you're playing like a worship music or you're playing hype music, you're trying to get them hype. So the same thing, if I'm posing, what am I trying to get them to feel and be in the mood to? And if I can't change that mood and it's clashing, then I'm doing the wrong pose or I got the wrong song.
All right, so just going back to some of your accolades, I want to shift to your bodybuilding now. 27 pro wins, 4 best posers, 15 top 3 shows and 15 top 5 shows. How long have you been competing?
So my first show was 2016, and then I came back in 2019. Pandemic happened, so we prep always 2 weeks out. They canceled the shows, and then that's why I took a breather. And then I opened up my own gym in 2021. That's why I came back in 2021, and I got my pro card, and I haven't stopped competing since 2001 consistently.
All right. Congrats on your gym, by the way. We're going to get to that too.
Yep.
So you are a pro in multiple organizations. Just give us a brief, I can't even say a summary, but which organization do you think is the most challenging and why?
I would say I would say the NFF, since I've been with them the longest compared to the other ones. The GBO was a little challenging because they do have tested and untested.
Mm.
When I first got that pro card there, it was a 2-day show, and I was trying to do the championship show because I had my pro card with the NFF, but it was since it was a championship show, they didn't allow me to have my pro card because you had to qualify for that show. So they said, you got to go in as an amateur. And I was like, y'all going to make me go in here as an amateur? So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be here for 2 days, I'm going to go ahead and just do untested and tested. And that's when I got the reality that, like, no matter if you natural or tested, you can still beat all these jokers. So I went up there, did amateurs, untested and tested, got my pro card in both, got the overall in both. So I'm over here with 4 overalls, and I'm like, is that the same guy that just won the untested and the tested? I'm like, yeah. And I'm over here like, so can I do the championship? Because it's a 2-day show. The championship's the next day. He's like, nah, you can't do the naturals because your test results ain't going to come in to the end. But you can do against the untested. I'm like, so I'm over here like, so I got against the pros untested. And so I'm like, all right, shoot, forget it. Now, this is a hard show because I'm coaching myself, and it's a 2-day show. So all I know, like, I'm going to keep my water low and just still carb up, but don't carb up too much. So without a coach, it cost me the second day because I was cramping up. I was getting tighter, but I was cramping up. So I ended up making this in the finals, and I made 5th place. I made the top 5. So everybody's saying, like, man, he's still a natural, and he still plays in top 5. But that's when I ended up meeting, like, people like Lazarus. So I had to watch them from the sidelines and watch the natural pro championship go on while I just did the untested and got my pro card in the naturals and untested. I'm over here like, so I never knew how I stood up against them at the end of 2021. So I'm just like, well, till next year. So when I ended up going against them in 2022, that's when I first met people like Eric Murph. And that's when I got the itch of competing a lot. Because beginning of 2022, that's when Murph started to do his 20 show run. And I was like, bro, who does 20 shows? I just did 6 shows. That was the most. I'm tapped out, tired. So he was like, well, 10 of the shows are with the NFF. I said, bet. I'm going to do all 10 shows. So if he's here, I'm going against him because everybody was saying, well, Murph's the guy to beat. I lost all 10 times against Murph. And I'm wondering, like, how this joker is going from, like, because he done shows on a Saturday and flew out to Miami on a Sunday and competed in Miami. I'm just like, how this dude just doing shows? But after I did that 10 shows, it had me like, well, it wasn't so bad. And the next year I did 10. The next year I did like 8. And the next year I did like another 9. I'm just like, well, I say, well, if I'm already in competing, if I got to compete around that June to all the way to the last show is November, why don't I just stay in prep? I find out it's a lot easier to maintain. Now, it does suck with the energy, but you just have to find a way how to learn how to recomp after each show. Take those rest days you need to take, and then get ready for the next show. And I think once I got a coach in 2023, that's when things became a lot easier. It was a lot less guessing and more, okay, he understood my body and to do this and do that. Now, he doesn't like that I do a lot of shows, but he be like, man, but if you win it, I'm gonna let you do your thing. But because I be telling him, like, man, because he'll ask me at the beginning of the year, it's like, he said, all right, how many shows you trying to do? Because we need to be realistic. And you can't be doing shows that's 4 shows back to back. Because I've done, like, it was every week 4 shows. And I'm over here, like, tired. He's like, hey, get 2 and then, like, take, like, a month and then do another show. He says, it ain't going to help you. You're just going to you get tighter, but you also can drop a lot of muscle. Like, it's a lot of wear and tear on the body. So that's why we kind of, like, now start spreading our 7 to 10 shows out throughout the year.
Okay. So I guess that takes me into I know Jamal said he was going to get into this, but you wear multiple hats. So from your page, I see you're a competitor. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me, right? All right. So you are a competitor. You coach people. You run a gym. So
okay, I can hear you as much.
You say you can't hear me or you
That's
can't?
low.
Uh-oh. How about now? Can you hear me?
I don't think I can hear you. Your volume?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Jamal?
I can hear you.
Oh.
I don't know
Oh,
if the
no,
volume is
Jamal.
low.
I'm about to say I could talk a little bit louder.
Say you with your chest.
Say it with my chest. Can you hear me?
A little technical difficulties going on right now, guys. We hope y'all are having a great week, a great day actually. And we got some big shows coming up. By the time this airs, the Conqueror would already be done and over with down in Vegas. You got Jack King. Well, that's going to be done too. I'm just trying to stall, brother.
We might have lost our guest. Hold on. Let's see. All right. So with you, I noticed on your page you wear multiple hats. So you're a competitor, you're a coach. There's another one, you're a gym owner, like Jamal stated. So how do you manage all this time? Like you say you're competing constantly. I'm pretty sure you got people competing just as much as you are. So how do you manage your time around being a gym owner and competing?
So, good thing. So my gym is more of a private gym where I can only train my clients. So instead of it running as like a full-time gym, um, and I think later on the biggest goal is to shy from training too many people and just run as a bigger gym. Cause right now we downsized to like a small 1,500 square feet gym. So I only train my clients. So my clients come at the times that they have throughout the day. So it was like I can make my time schedule how I want. So I'll schedule my workouts between 12 and 4. So I have a 4 hour time that I can take care of my cardio and my workout. We have like a sauna here, cardio, shower here, microwave, an air fryer. So half time I can't even miss meals. So even if I'm here at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm leaving about 7. I can air fry and cook my food all here, and I'm only still about 5 minutes away from my house. So it's convenient that I made my gym and try to do everything in a way that I can hit everything on point. And then most of my clients, I try to structure, not trying to train too many people during peak week or not peak week, but bodybuilding season. And then usually when I get clients, I try to structure everybody depending on what shows they want to do. And usually most of the clients are choosing most shows that's in Texas. We have a few that want to go out of state, but a lot of people started putting up the costs of how much it is to compete out of state. I'm like, hotel, plane tickets, things like that. I'm like, yes, it comes in pretty hectic. But usually when they do shows like the NFF, I'm gonna still make it to all the shows. Even if I'm not competing at the NFF or the GBO or Onyx or the OCB show, since they have some here in Texas, I'll still be able to go in if I'm not competing. So I'm already planning to put that on my schedule, even if my clients are going. And so usually this year, I think I have more guys and females. And my guys are pretty easy to keep them on point. They check in, and then we always meet up on some weekends and train as a team, just to keep the team camaraderie together.
Okay.
So
So you just mentioned the OCB. Earlier this year, you went and you accomplished getting that OCB Pro card. I know because my client was there, and I was hoping he was going to win the show, but you ended up winning the show. But anyways, so what was your thought process or just your inspiration on going to get your OCB Pro card when you're already a pro in all these other organizations?
So my mindset. So when I got in bodybuilding, I mean, I've always been an athlete, and so being in track and field, you always want to go against the fastest person and see where you stack up to competition. So it's always been me. So when I met people like Eric Murph, people thought I was crazy trying to do 10 shows against him. But at the same time, I was going against him and all these other people that I didn't know. So instead of like people just doing 1 or 2, 3 shows, I'm like, I just kept doing more shows, but at the same time, I kept taking notes. A lot of people, if they would have just saw my posing back then, it was garbage. But at the same time, they did not know I'm taking notes from all these different posers, all these different bodybuilders. I was taking notes from Murph. I was watching videos, shows like their football videos. I was watching Eric Murph, what poses he do. I knew to the point to a certain pose, if he does this pose, he's going to go straight into this pose. That's how much I was watching videos of him, Natty Norris, Showtime, Lazarus, Tommy, a lot of people from different organizations. So when I went against you, Anderson, so when I went against them every show, I started evaluating, asking the coach, okay, how did he beat me? Because 2022, I'm doing 10 shows, but I'm making 6th, 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 5th, 4th. So I'm not cracking the top 3, but I'm taking notes. Okay, so hey, you got to build up your rear delts. I'm like, who thinks about rear delts all the time? He's like, no, you got to build your rear delts. He said, hey, back got a lot more dense. He says, build up your chest, build up your shoulders. He says, work on your posing. He says, I need your waist being as small as can be. So even when I was trying to perfect, I told people, instead of most competitors, when they do a show, they get mad and like, oh, I'm done, I'm going to season. I tell most guys, do as many shows as you can for your first year. You'll learn more and you get in front of different judges. You get different perspectives from these judges. Get those feedbacks. Even if you didn't like your placing, get those feedbacks. The best feedback I got from judges was, it was one girl, she does figure, and she was like, how many pulls do you do a day? You know, how many pulls a day? She said, I need 100 to 200 pulls a day because I do 100 a day. And I'm like, cap. I'm looking at her female like 120, 140. I'm like, you don't do no 100 pulls a day. She says, yeah. And why you think I'm always in the top 3 at Miss America? So I'm over there like, all right, she got to take me. So as soon as I did 100 pulls a day, she saw like my next shows, a couple shows. She's like, okay, see a little density. And then next thing you know, I started doing 100, 200 every day, year round. And I started making my clients do it all because of that one judge. And I told people, like, dude, the judges are giving you like the cheat codes. But we get mad and get feeling, man, I lost. Because different organizations, different federations want certain looks, different looks. So if you don't do your homework, you got beat. Like, yeah, you might have a better package if you go to a different judge, like the NPC. They don't care how conditioned I come in. They want size, size, size. I did the Ben Wheeler last year. I'm pilt. I'm ceramic wrap. And then the judge, we were getting our feedback, and he saw a whole bunch of Mr. Zeke all in front of him, waiting in line. And he said, hey, all y'all come together. Come here. Need y'all listen. He says, as long as I'm judging this show, I'm going to tell you one thing. Back over everything. And we was like, he said it bold. He says, if you see me, back over everything. He said, you can look all good in the front. He's like, back over everything. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know how many big backs you got there? So I'm over here like, so next year, just build a big back. I'm like, that's the NPC, and that's how that judge won. Tyler Mann may want a more polished, aesthetic look. But halftime, who I know, the West Coast, at halftime, he's like, you better have the whole package. You better still come in conditioning. If you know he's going to be at this show and you have the second half of the show, you better come in fuller if you got this judge. So it's a good perspective to find out like what different shows have different perspectives because it just makes you a better round athlete. Because if you can do it in one federation, but let alone if you do it in 2 different federations, that means you know how to pivot. You know if you got to come in fuller, you know you got to come in dice. So that's why I've been like even seeing the shows at OCB, and I was like, bro, these people love condition to the teeth at OCB, and that's why I started seeing some of the championship show. What's his name? Core Killer, and I was like, yeah, this. I was like, Not everybody can have a nickname like that and live up to it. I was like, all right, this Joker. I'm looking at his obliques in his core like, I think it's just genetics, and I ain't gonna get that out. I'm like, I'm over here like, I'm not about to do as many abs. My genetics is not gonna be built like that. So I'm like, I gotta come in 10 pounds probably less than I ever thought I could. I was like, man, this man gonna push me to the mid 160s or high 160s. I'm like, I'm at some weight at 179, 180. I'm like, I'm looking at like that's a 168, 169 just coming in that peel. But uh, but the good thing is, I like cannot get my body to get that lean. So now this year is more of a challenge. Is can you take condition to a whole nother level? He's like, because most of the judges keep saying, dude, you getting big. He says, because then I'll do some classic show. They're like, it's like, bro, you just nothing but chest and back. He says, you got the size legs. He says, but you need to come up with a more quad scoop and then just come in a lot more peel because your legs want to come in a little softer than your upper body. So you have to come in a little more dice until your legs catch up to get that condition. Going against people like Mario Hill, I'm right next to the Joker. Like, yeah, I can probably have the same condition of his upper body, but when that Joker put his quads in front of mine and he got feathers, I'm like, bro, I'm not getting that dice in my legs right now. Because Mario became some crazy condition. I'm just like, so I would say that has definitely been uh, definitely my workout partner Mario Hill. Even though we go against each other all the time, but we talk to each other every day, keep each other accountable. Because at one point he was on Ninja Zeke, and then he retired his boy shorts. I don't know because he saw losing when I beat him, and so he's like, "Nah, man, if I'm getting beat by Tyson, these amateurs like, nah, I'm going to chuck that deuce." And he haven't. I keep trying to get him to do at least one Ninja Zeke show, but he's like, "Nah, I'm staying in classic."
I can't hear you, brother.
I'm on mute. Okay. So I said, well, what we do here is we do something called top five. And it's the spontaneous questions that I listen to while you're talking. I develop questions. So some of these may be very random, some of them may be about something you said. So this is rapid fire, and then we're gonna see what we get from it. All right. So the first question is you say you're a PK. I think everybody know what a PK is. So how hard was it convincing your parents that you wanted to start bodybuilding?
Well, hard. So a lot of people don't know my biological mom did bodybuilding in the 70s and the 80s before I was born. Um, and I got into it not even knowing she was in there because my biological mom passed away when I was 1 year old. So I was raised by my aunt and my uncle, who I call my mom and my dad. And they told me a few stories, but I didn't know that much of details because back in the 70s, 80s, everybody didn't keep up with pictures or photos. We had a few newspapers that was black and white. And then they said, yeah, she did women's, at that time, I think we would call it women's physique. So she was a big girl, like 300 some pounds, dropped down to 130 and got into bodybuilding. She was just that typical story. She was a fat girl. She didn't like it because all her other sisters were skinny. So she got into like aerobics class and then started adding weight to it and just started yoking up. So when I says I'm gonna try bodybuilding, they're like, just like your mama. They're like, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So I tell people I did it because at first I was doing it because one of my coworkers from the law enforcement was doing it, and I'm out of shape, and I already in the police department for about 4 years already, and I'm like, man, I'm out of shape. This may help me get in shape, not knowing I'll fall in love with the sport. But when I got to my first show, I'm looking at like I've had abs before in track and field, but when I got to the bodybuilding show, I'm like, no, these are different type of abs. These people are a whole different type of conditions. So I was like, nah, this is a whole trip. But at halftime, nah, my parents was like, I don't think they were shocked. They were just like subconsciously you doing what your mama did and you never even met her or knew her that well. So she said, we've been there to some of her bodybuilding shows in the 70s and 80s. So she's like, basically now you're just doing what she's doing.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we have. I think you already spoke on this, but what would you consider? All right. So you do. I think you answered this, so I don't want to ask it again. I'm trying to ask it in a different way. All right. So who is your biggest rivalry? Like, will you say it's still you and Murph, or is there somebody else that's your biggest rivalry?
I would say Murph because yet since I went against Murph at this point maybe almost 15 times, I've yet have still beat this dude. Still have yet beat this dude. And then since he opened up his gym in Miami, he been dodging. He don't tell nobody when he about to do the show, and I'm over here. Because the last show we went against each other, it was close. The judge like, bro, I don't know. In my head, that was the first year I actually started winning my first pro shows. So when I actually got beat by Murph like 10 times all in 2022, I didn't see him until 2023 after I won like 8 shows in a row. So when I won 8 shows in a row, I'm like, yeah, I'm there, Murph. You're about to be number 9, my victim. And I thought in my head, it was like I don't know. I'm over there. I died hard for this show. Just like, and the winner is, I'm over there breathing like, I did it. I did it. And they say, Murph, I was like, what? In my head, I'm like, you get so close. I told everybody I would trade all 8 wins for a loss just to beat him. Cause it was like I was like, bro, that hurt. I said, because then had like, I think he got like 10-time best poser, 14-time best poser. So I'm over here like, I got 4-time best poser. At this point, I got about 10 wins. I can't beat this dude. Like, I'm over here going over like, what was it? The condition was the symmetry. And it's like, man, Murph just knows how to outpose his clients. Like, he was just a little his waist. And he knows how to pose against certain people he going against. He knows he'd do like his homework. So it's like I'm doing my homework on him, but he's doing his homework on me. So even during that challenge, they did it was a tournament of champions. So it was like a knockout round. So everybody did knockout round, but when I go against Murph, they gave us a whole extra like 3 minutes to like free pose just to go against each other. And so we're over here just like posing off against each other. And I'm just like, this ain't part of the script. They like pose off. And I'm over here like, we started doing bodybuilding poses, double back bicep at the same time. And I'm over here. And all that, I say all his poses just to be told like, yep, still lost against Murph.
Okay.
So I told Murph before I try to retire, like, hey, dude, we got to run this back. Him and Showtime.
Okay. Okay. So that leads me into my next question. It's you and 4 other people in a lineup. Who do you want those other 4 people to be?
Jeez. Man, I would definitely say off the bat, because that's the reason why that's why the reason I choose to do the OCB this year. Because it was like you, um, um, Core Killer, and I don't even know if Eric Murphy's trying to compete this year. There's another new cat that I met this year. I haven't met him in person, but he goes back and forth doing classic and Mrs. Z. Trying to remember his name, Dreadlocks.
Roy.
Yeah. So when he did classic, I was like, all right, so we got another joker that's balanced from top to bottom. So I was like, dang. Usually judges like it when you have Mr. Zeke that has a little more legs and they have a balanced physique. So I'm over here like, all right. I said, they got a lot of balance over here at the OCB. They come in crazy condition. I'll tell you the difference, I believe, in NFF and OCB is when I looked at like Murph or Laz or me, NFF went for a lot of size. Still good condition, but a lot of density and size. And then that's why I says when I looked at the OCB, most of the regular, I'll say, amateurs I'm seeing, they're weighing about maybe 160 on the low 170s. Not a lot of guys are in the 180s or 190s. So I said, okay, they're coming in condition, unless they're just tall. But they like conditioned. They like that peeled, shredded look. So it's like that ain't gonna slide. If I try to come over here with just, I'm gonna be having that same results as Jeremy Bourdais is when he tried to come back out of retirement. He couldn't match these boys' condition, but he just had all the size, but he started almost being to the borderline classic.
Okay. You didn't give me 5, but we're gonna just let that slide. We're gonna let that one slide.
Okay.
You named a couple people. I thought you was gonna hit this Showtime Keith Murph. I thought you was gonna give me the dream lineup. But we have
I said you and Core Killer.
all right.
So I know I added you and Core Killer.
Roy.
Yeah. You, Core Killer, Roy, and Mervin, I'll say Showtime.
All right, that's 6. Okay,
Yes,
cool. We got it. I got an answer out of it. I got one.
Yeah.
So all right, next. What do you get the most fulfillment out of? Let's say playing an instrument in church, coaching someone to a pro card win, or you winning a show.
Oh man. Getting a client getting a pro card, or even a client winning best poser. Man, my clients know I'm a big. I tell you, if you get to know me, I'm a big crybaby, bro. Like my first Mr. Z guy when he got his pro card, bro. Somebody had falls with the camera. I'm like, take my phone, running down there like. I said, what we did? And we like sitting there just crying. And then I guess the promoter or the owner, he was like, the best bodybuilder. And I'm like, I didn't know he was gonna get that. I said, dude, you got the overall too. I was like, I'm over there like, and I was like, hey man, y'all didn't stop. Like, nah, coach, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And next thing you know, I'm doing it on every single one. The girls or the guys, I'm over there like, I tell people because I understand how it is to get there, and then on their own testimony, when they have all these doubts, man, coach, there's a lot of cardio. Can I have my cars back? And I was like, I don't even want to do this show. I'm like, we're about 4 weeks out. We ain't about to go through a whole 5-6 weeks of 5-6 months of prep, and you about to just let this go. And then they find out when they do it at the end, like it was worth it. And I'm over here, why am I crying more than you? I feel like I won the pro card all over again, but you the one that won, and they getting all emotional. But they like, coach, stop crying. Like, nah, y'all know I'm a big crybaby. I don't know if it's just the church in me, but at the same time, I'll cry at church. If I'm playing my instrument, we having a good worship, music, and it hits. I'm another crybaby. So a lot of times, people really find out me, I ain't hard as they think I am.
All right, and the last and final question to round this off. Like I said, I did my lurking. I did some good investigative work. So I want you to say, in short, I want you to give us 3 words for the person on the left side of this picture, and then 3 words for the person on the right side of this picture. All right. And go.
Going through life. And the other side is being honest with yourself. Fully honest.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that reel and I was like, yeah, this is big. So I really want.
That was the year I had made a decision to do bodybuilding because I was that big. I was in law enforcement. I'm over here. I was in shape when I was a cop, and then somehow I got out of shape. I told people free food. Free food. I went to Chick-fil-A religiously because they gave me free breakfast every time I worked graveyard shift. To the point they knew my regular meal like the usual. Like, yeah, don't give me the usual. And then I worked near McDonald's and Jack in the Box. So I'm patrolling around all the fast food in my neighborhood and stuff. I ain't chasing nobody at that point. I'm over there just like, man. And then that's when I started getting to 220, 230, 240. And I'm looking up like, 10. I'm like, bro. Like it goes by fast. And you over there looking like, I used to run marathons. I used to run track and field in college. Like, what happened? I lost myself. The same thing, I was trying to still lift weights. I'm just doing a muscle fat.
And then I think the second picture, the transformation, like I said, I saw the reel. So maybe you guys who watching this can go check it out as well. But it seemed like a new life, like a second chance. Like it's almost like you transformed a lot inside, outside. Like even from the facial expressions to, to the physique you built, So that's a big kudos to a lot of people who make that change. And like you said, you made the change and now you're a 27-time pro winner, right? So I think that's huge. But can you tell the people where to find you at, where to find that reel, find your coaching, find your gym? Let them know where to find you at.
On Instagram at True Believer Fitness. We're right here in Houston, Texas. So I'm right in the back of the middle of Houston, basically. I tell you, we're right next to the Lions Stadium. So you trying to come see the Texans play? Well, we ain't winning the Super Bowl game no time soon. But yeah, our gym is right down the street from them. Yeah, but I'm born and raised in Texas, in Houston, Texas. So, but they can find me on all social media if they're dealing with True Believer Fitness, True Believer Fitness Gym. So they have Instagram as well.
Okay. And y'all heard that, but we're gonna wrap here. But until next time, man, thank you again, Tyson. Until next time, y'all. Peace.